right now, we're going to move into inside corner. Probably the most difficult in the taping to do because everybody has their different techniques and styles to do it. I told you in the very beginning, I put 3 coats on everything, okay? A lot of people tell you that you can get away with 2 coats on the inside corners. Can you get away with it? Sure. Do I do it? I do not. I try and provide the best possible taping job that I can, okay? 3 coats for me works. It works for my customers. It works for the people I work for. It does a better job. Give yourself 3 coats. If you do make any mistakes, you can hide it with the 3 coats. There's a couple of things that you need to consider with the inside corners, okay? Especially with the ceilings, the walls, okay? When the installation of the sheetrock is done, there's always a piece that goes up first and then second, okay? In this particular application of the drywall, this piece of sheetrock went up first. This piece went up second, okay? What does that mean to you and to me? That means is as we're embedding our tape into our inside corners, if we wipe this side first, our knife is going to have a tendency to go into that gap that we created. Now, if you have a flawless sheetrock job, which is very uncommon these days, you might be able to get away with that. But 95% of the time, you're not going to get away with it. So what we're going to have to do is identify what piece of sheetrock went up last. We're going to take our knife and we're going to butt it up against the piece of sheetrock that went up first. Okay, I know it sounds counterintuitive. I know it sounds a little weird. Do we need to be that technical? Do you need to? No, you can get away with doing it the other way, but now you're going to be forced to fill that gap in on your corner, which is most people's not strong point. Even professional tapers do it differently. They have struggle with the inside corners. Most people say it's the hardest thing to do when you're taping. Why have your knife go into that gap like I'm showing you here? Into that gap like I'm showing you here. We can get a nice square corner by wiping this side first, this side second. Okay, let's get some compound. Again, nice and clean. I just cleaned my tools before so we don't have any debris. There's different ways to apply the compound. There's the sliding method, which I think I mentioned in the front. You could use the sliding method for your seams as well. You could use your sliding method for your corners. Absolutely. I do it that way. There's a corner roller that you can use. I do have one. Maybe I'll bring it out later. Corner roller that would mud both sides. I said mud. I don't like that word. Typically, we like to do the corners first, and then we'll do the caps coming into it. Does it matter? No, it doesn't. It's just how I'm programmed to do it and how I've been doing it for years and years. There's really no correct way. You could put this corner cap in first, then this, then this. You could do it this, that. It doesn't matter. You're going to get the same outcome either way. I'm just programmed to do it that way because I've been doing it that way for so long. So let's move over to this side. Remember, our wiping and our mudding. I said mud again. I don't like it. I'm slacking. So we're going to want to put the compound on the side that went up first. Okay? We're going to start from the top. Again, compound half on the knife. Start up here. And we're going to start to pull down. All right? Same as when we're mudding our seams, again, with the mud. As we're putting compound on our seams. As we feel that compound dissipate on the knife, we start to flatten our knife out, right? If we start like this, we're not going to get that compound on there. If we start like this, we're going to struggle. I make it look easy, okay? Because I've been doing it a long time. But if you take your knife and just dab it, keep one side off, you're going to just put compound on one side, right? And we want to come down, and again, you're going to feel it dissipate, and you're done. There's hardly any on there. You could always go back, put a little bit more compound on here, and just glide over it. Again, what we're trying to avoid is blisters. We don't want blisters. Blisters are our enemy. Okay? Now we're going to come to the other side. This is the side that was put up last. This is where the gap is, right? Sometimes these gaps are big. Sometimes they're small. We're going to do the same thing on this side, just the opposite side of the knife, right? Half my knife, we're going to fill with compound. See, the other half is empty. I'm going to start the same way. Come down. Flatten that knife out. Yeah. Half. Flatten. Here's the difference when you're doing corners opposed to when you're doing seams. Okay? We want to keep our knife as flat as we can. If we're putting the compound on, and I want to show you this, if we open up our knife and we press into that corner, watch what happens here. See what we did there? We pulled compound off of the wall that we already have compound on. That would create a blister, okay? Blisters are our enemy. Let's go back and fill this back in again. We're going to, again, compound on one side of the knife. I want that knife flat, and I want you to turn it as we go. Look at that angle. See where my finger is? I drop my hand down, my finger's on this side, and we're going to slightly push. Our knife and our tip of our knife are going to stay right in there, and we're not going to pull compound out of here. We're going to put enough compound on here. That's a common mistake that everybody does, and it's going to hold true for the next coat as well. The angles of your knife, how you open, how you close, how you put your fingers on here make a huge, huge difference, okay? That's why I'm going to keep saying that over and over and over again. You can't, could you imagine trying to get your compound in there, holding your knife like this? Who's doing this? Like, that is so awkward and it's so hard. And I promise you, by the end of the day, your wrist will be destroyed. You'd be like walking around like, what happened? And especially if you're a bowler and you got to bowl and keep that, now you can't bowl. Like, what are we doing? We're just killing ourselves. All right. Showed you in the beginning, front and back to the tape. Again, repetition. This is something that is just going to become embedded in your mind. You're not even going to think about it anymore. You just be like, oh, there's a front and a back. You already told me 1,000,000 times, front and back. We're going to take some tape. Again, for teaching purposes, I'm only doing pieces of this. At the end, I'm going to show you how to do a quick overall. Hey, this is how you do it. All right, we're going to rip this tape. We want to make sure we crease it. It's already creased, so you're going to be able to slide down that real quick. We want to make sure that our end, you see how this end is not straight, not square? We just want to close that a little bit, and we want to tear it. Come on. Oh, man, I'm getting soft. Look at that. And we're going to rip that square. See that? See how nice and square that is? Now we're ready. We're going to put this piece of tape. We're going to set it right in there. We're going to butt that square edge to the ceiling. We're going to come here. Man, my tape is giving me a hard time. Getting soft. And we're going to set that in there. Remember I showed you, or we spoke in the beginning, we don't want to wipe the side that has the gap because our knife is going to go right in there, and I'm going to show you what will happen if we do that. We have an opportunity to show you. So if I wipe this side first, okay, and I put pressure in there, that tape is going to want to go in there. You see that? The tape's going to want to go in there. It has no other way to go but to go in there. We don't want that. We're creating a nice angle here, okay? Remember, we put water in this compound in the beginning. We're embedding tape. It's going to shrink. The crease is designed to shrink into the seams and the corners. If we push that tape into that corner and we let it set like that, and now it shrinks even more, that gap is going to be harder to fill on the second coat. We go back to wiping. You see the gap? We want to wipe this side first. So our knife blade sits right on that nice square corner. We come to the top. We flatten our knife. Flatten the knife. Flatten the knife. If we open the knife and we put pressure, that's what happens. Okay? Common mistake. Put that tape back up in there. Right? Lubricate. Remember, we showed a little lubrication. Get it a little wet. Do that. Flatten the knife. Flatten the knife. I keep saying that, right? I want people to understand. Now we're going to wipe. And we're putting our edge of our blade up against that wall. Okay? And we're pressing. We're creating that angle. You can wipe it a couple of times. Don't be afraid. You're not going to get that much compound coming out of it. It's fine. Comes turn to wipe this side now. We don't want to put a lot of pressure on this. We want to put just enough pressure that's going to pull the compound out of it. Okay? Again, top, flatten the knife. Flatten the knife. Take a couple wipes and then go down. My pressure is straight on. It's not putting pressure in there like I did here. Okay? Here, we had a nice straight surface to run our knife on. Here, we don't have that. If we put pressure this way, our knife is going to go into that corner. All right? We're just going to drag that paper tape in there, and we're not filling that gap. We're not hiding that seam, so-called corner seam, right? Flatten your knife from the top, come down, press, outward, and down. We're not pushing that tape in there. You know, having an adequate sheetrock job obviously gives you better success for your taping finishing, your drywall finishing. But there's a lot of jobs you go on. Maybe it's a renovation. Maybe in your own home, you're lining up some old walls to new walls. There's some gaps here or there. You got to treat them differently, okay? Again, what I'm showing you guys today, there's no pre-filling. It's just a traditional first coat. I want you to start understanding why we're doing things the way we're doing, the consistency of the compound, how to hold the knife, right? Up, down, finger, left, right. The angles, it all makes a difference as we're moving forward. Knowing why you're doing things is very, very important, okay? Is it slightly technical? Maybe. I don't know. My job is to make it flat and smooth. Your job is to make it flat and smooth. This is how you make it flat and smooth, if that makes sense, everybody, right? Let's see. Let's take a quick look at that. I don't mind that. I think it looks good. I think we're okay. So we're going to go right into the cap, okay? Again, what do I keep saying? Repetition. It's repetition. You're going to start getting better at it and better at it and better at it as you do it, as you do it, as you do it. It's going to become just a habit for you to do, right? I don't want to overemphasize the fact that the simple techniques are really repetition, all right? But you have to learn it, and you have to understand why. I don't even know if that makes sense. Maybe it does.